Okay. Start. So, with the Bulls coming off, the 2025 NBA Finals championship win, I thought it'd only be fit to get the Finals MVP and the champion himself, Kahari Brown, here with us today. How you doing, Kahari?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Now, I think only question we can ask first right now is just, how does it feel being an NBA champion with a team like the Bulls that you grew up watching and you're from Chicago?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you. It's amazing. Like, especially like Marcellus too. He's also from Chicago, my teammate. And I didn't know what we was getting into at the start of the season. We had a lot of bumps and bruises. A lot of bumps. A lot of bruises. But in the end, we really stepped up and we brought it back home.
Now, you were talking about, a lot of bumps and bruises, going along with the season. And, you started off with a losing record until the All-Star break. And then it seemed just all of a sudden you guys just seemed to turn it around and really clicked as a team and made it to the 5th seed with a 43-9 record. How did the team make such an adjustment so quick in the middle of the season?
It was really the team. They really stepped up and surprised me. It was really, they came in. They knew we was close to them playoffs. They just started going crazy. I had to come with the energy behind it. I couldn't lag behind. And that be the reason. So I had to come with it too.
Now, we're talking about the regular season, but I think it's time to move on to the playoffs. I think every Bulls fan can attest that the playoffs was a wild ride for y'all. It was a very grueling one for the Bulls. You and the Bulls. You faced off against the best teams of the East, against the 4th seed Pacers in the first round, the 1st seed Knicks in the second round, the 3rd seed Cavaliers in the conference finals, and then the 1st in the West Mavericks. I mean, how did you take on all the doubts surrounding the team, facing, the best of the best, being in the underdog position like every step of the way?
Everybody had their doubts, but we didn't have no doubts with the team. We were just gonna go out there, really just, we knew we had to bring it home. After sweeping the I think what was the number 1 seed Knicks. After sweeping them, it kind of really gave us that confidence, to really, go into the finals, especially because we know we was going into. We had a number 1 seed in the second round. We had to face another number 1 seed in the finals. It's kind of crazy. I didn't know what we was gonna do, but we did it.
I mean, speaking about the final, how could you game plan around such a team as the Mavericks, with the experience of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving and their mentor Cooper Flag, who's, one of the best prospects we've ever seen. I mean, how could you even begin to game plan for that, going up against such youth and such experience?
It was really Nikola Jokic helping us with the rebounds. I'm not sure, because, we didn't really have the game plan around Anthony Davis because he was injured for like 2-3 weeks, so he was out for the rest of the playoffs. So, he came in with the rebound. Cooper Flag really, man, he's an amazing rookie. He really came in crazy. I believe he scored like 20 points against us the first quarter. Really had to come and compete, but we came through with the win.
Now, back then you were speaking about, the team was, really just, tried to turn it around, and, you brought the energy behind it. Now, on the court, you, Josh Giddey, and Matas Buzelis have amazing chemistry that carried you all the way to the finals. But with you being a rookie, how did you find the way to connect with them to bring out so much success on the court?
It was really me and Marcellus. We had some, me and him have a little bit of history. Me and from the same, city, and all being from Illinois. So me and him, for me and him, it had to really click. We had to bring it home because this is home. We gotta, can't find the words I'm looking for, but it was just we had to
show up for the city.
Yeah, we really had to do it. We knew we had to bring it home and do it for the city. You know, we can't forget Kobe White. You know, he was good coming off the bench. You know, amazing. Also, I can't forget my teammate Josh Giddey. You know, amazing, good passing the ball. You know, spacing the floor. He really was the game changer. You know, keeping the floor and you know together, making sure everybody in their spots.
And I mean, you know, speaking about that, I think now it's time for the $1 million question. Why did you leave the Bulls? And I mean, like, do you think you have as much of a shot as winning the NBA championship for the second time in a row, even with the Bulls bringing in Trae Young in free agency?
You know, I really, you know, okay, so the reason why I didn't go back is because, like, I really thought I should really have a bonus, you know. I was re-signing. You know, I helped bring back the champion, not by myself, but
like, a big part of it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest part, but you know, I was, you know, I had a part.
And I mean,
I just felt like I used that bonus, but I do plan on going back. You know, right now with the Celtics for the summer league. You know, I'm gonna talk things out with the Bulls, and you know, we'll see what things lay. I don't know. I might stay with the Celtics. I might go back to the Bulls.
Well, I think, you know, I can speak for kind of all Chicago fans that we do want to see you back. You know, it's not any hard feelings. You know, you may have left, but you know, there's no hard feelings with the city or anything. But you know, thank you for being here today. You know, thank you for just allowing us to really get an insight into what you think about everything that happened.
I'm sorry.
So thank you for being here, and just really, thank you for allowing us to, really get an insight into really what was the mindset of the Bulls during, the magical season that you guys had.
The mindset was really to just get it done by any means necessary. Just get it done. Win, lose, you can't draw. So.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for answering. You've been a great guest.
Thank you for having me.